What's up, YouTube? I'm not even gonna mention it. Like, I'm gonna copy like another YouTuber's title just so I don't get in trouble. And then I'm gonna do that. Okay, so like I don't want to make this long. I don't want to make this long. But I'm going to try to have some nuance on a very hotly discussed topic because I feel like when we talk about this, I can see both sides of it, like I always say, and I want to make both sides feel comfortable in what they're talking about because a lot of y'all are slipping into some weird shit. And it's scary that like your brain like jumped there because like you have now validity in some other feeling that could make you go somewhere else and you just not going there. So on both sides of the aisle, I guess I will play this fucking role of trying to bring nuance into this discourse. Biden departs the Delaware beach house after telling governors there is no federal solution on COVID and it should be solved at the state level. Obviously I pre-watched that because what the fuck? There's a different context. There's a different context here that actually provides what was being said. But obviously there's shit that he said at the same time that didn't make any sense. This is another L for Democrats. Most of that wasn't a conspiracy a year ago, just was a fact at the time. Information and situation changed. The conspiracy is that there's an international conspiracy. Vaccinated can spread COVID. A year ago, conspiracy theory, now truth. That's not true. That's literally not true. Now, will I say the fucking messaging from like MSNBC and whatever and like news networks was fucked up? Yes, nobody's fucking debating that. I'm sure, just like in the movie Don't Look Up, they told them specifically what to say and they were like, we can't say it like this. We're not smart enough to convey that and our viewers won't like it. Like, whatever. So no, like that was already talked about. Vaccinated is susceptible to new variants and reinfection. Conspiracy. That was the whole fucking point of why they said still mask up when the vaccine was getting put. Donald Trump himself said it. What the fuck are you talking about? COVID vaccines can cause blood clots and other serious side effects. Conspiracy theory. All vaccines can. Third and fourth shot. A conspiracy theory. Truth. What poster? Have we even talked about a fourth shot yet? Fuck is you talking about? New shots every year, half a year. Conspiracy theory, truth. Literally, you guys railed Fauci for saying that this could become a yearly thing. Shots for young children. Where did you... What? Total segregation of the society. Oh my God. Did I just not explain for 45 fucking minutes that half these motherfuckers don't even want to go outside? Like, I thought when the pandemic like started getting lifted that more and more people were going to stop watching Twitch because like they were all inside. So like Twitch was cool. Like viewership went up as people could go outside. What the fuck? I'm hanging out with unvaccinated people. Not hanging out with them. That's a misnomer. Okay. That's a misnomer. I'm around unvaccinated people, I'm sure. Camps for the do you mean the ICU wards? Unvaccinated able to work. I literally did a 3-hour segment on watching people ask for jobs and get hired being unvaccinated. Harder access of medical care for unvaccinated. Secret contracts between Pfizer and 4.7. 4.7. Hey, somebody hit that sub. We love it. 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 Wasn't even gonna go that deep into this. Okay. So The reason why everybody fucking talking about this is because of this. We're going to read it off the CDC's site. I am not going to draw my already drawn conclusion from the information that I'm about to speak to you. My conclusion will rest on what you just heard me talk about and the way people are responding to it and Biden's response. And I'm going to validate your anger, and at the also time, I'm going to make you think about something. CDC updates and shortens recommended isolation and quarantine period for general population. Media statement for immediate release Monday, December 27, 2021. Contact Media Relations at 404-639-3286. All public numbers. Given what we currently know about I just want to speed through this shit. Given what we currently know about COVID-19 and the Omicron variant, CDC is shortening the recommended time for isolation for the public. People with COVID-19 should isolate for 5 days, and if they are asymptomatic or their symptoms are resolving without fever, for 24 hours. Follow that by 5 days of wearing a mask when around others to minimize the risk of infecting people they encounter. The change is motivated by the science. Whoa! Hold up. The change is motivated by science demonstrating that the majority of SARS-2 COVID transmission occurs early in the course of illness, generally in the 1 and 2 days prior to onset of symptoms and the 2 to 3 days after. Additionally, CDC is updating the recommended quarantine period for anyone in the general public who is exposed. For people who are vaccinated and are more than 6 months out from the second mRNA dose, more than 2 months after and not yet boosted. CDC now recommends quarantine for 5 days, followed by strict mask use for an additional 5 days. Recommends. Alternative of 5-day quarantine is not feasible. It's imperative that exposed person wear a well-fitting mask at all times. Oh, fuck me. Test on day 5? I should have pre-read that. I should have pre-read that. Y'all watching my paradigm get shifted. It's happening to me. This is a real life reaction to that. Yes, no, that's true. I just said that. I just said that. I don't know if you missed it, but I did. That's clear cut science. That's obviousness considering what's going on. Um. Okay. Okay. So this. What the fuck is that? You know what my biggest issue with it is? Is that it feels like it's hastily written. It's like normally. Normally, there's just more than just the change is motivated by science. Like, it really feels like they're just like, fuck it. I mean, I shouldn't say my paradigm's getting shifted. I should say that like this only validates what I was gonna say more, but now for one side as opposed to being both. Because I didn't know it was that fucking blatant. I thought people read it and like it said something, and I was like, okay, I'll just read it and like really look through it. But it's like If you test positive, stay home for 5 days. If you get better after 5 days, you can leave. Continue to wear a mask around others for 5 additional days. But it's like, who's like, who's that applying to? Because people who I assume realized they tested positive for COVID were staying home for 2 weeks regardless. If you were exposed to someone, if you've been boosted or finished the primary, if you develop symptoms, get a test to stay home. But like, wear a mask around others for 10 days. What if I choose not to wear one for, how do I, they got to test earlier in order for me to know. If you develop symptoms, but like, I should already be wearing the mask. Stay home for 5 days. Did that continue? Must wear a mask for 10 days. So can you not wear a fucking... No, they already said that. They already said that you can't wear a mask. I mean, that you don't have to wear a mask if you were vaccinated. So are they rolling that one back? See, there's just usually science on that. This just feels rushed. I mean, it really don't fucking matter because the other example is a thing outside of this country. But I guess you see what happens when I have real information. I don't just say, "Oh, that shit is bullshit," and it doesn't matter. My point remains the same. Like, I guess now I gotta think on my fucking feet. Yeah. Oh, everybody's hitting. Everybody hitting right now. Okay, so let me address that real quick because it was in the chat. I might as well before I get to what's on the screen. COVID is going to be around forever like the flu. I can already see it. Sadly, that's becoming more and more of a possibility, but I will, and you don't have to trust me because I'm just literally a dude on the internet. But that wasn't the original intended target. That wasn't the original. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's just our population that like really got it to that point. Like, I'm gonna just be honest. I know some people would say, "Oh, you're not a scientist, blah, blah, why would we listen to you?" It's like, after literally looking at the world and the way it works, I promise you that wasn't the intended target. If like we had a more cohesive safety net and we set shit up way better, like there's government failures across the board. Like there's obvious factors, but I'm gonna say that those are the two main like ideas there. It wasn't meant to go that way, and it just went that way. What, you're not a French model like you told me earlier? I hate you. It was either this or, but y'all done what you want. Yeah, that's part of like the two sides thing here. I want to make that the conclusion to this segment and just work you through like what I'm seeing and my responses to it before I get to the big main point. So I lay that groundwork. So I apologize if it sounds like I want to talk about it and I stop. If you're watching this on YouTube, when this VOD is uploaded, like that's what's happening. They completely scrapped any thought of being preventative. Yeah, like it's like that's also part of it. Sorry, I wish they provide more information on where they get to these conclusions from. Yes, like, and it's funny because they always have. It seems like this one is just like holiday season. Everybody's getting it. Fuck it, might as well do what we can to mitigate. There are reasons I really don't trust the FDA and CDC. That's fine. That's fine. I can't give you enough validity. I will say that, like, at its core, it's not like the evil umbrella scientists, but like they've also done some evil umbrella shit in the past. So like, I guess it. Wow, I pulled my whole headphone out. I guess it matters on how you view what affects you in the world. I think that's a fair thing to say. Like, it's easy to tell people like Fauci's like blah 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 this and blah blah that, but like 15 years ago, you probably didn't care about who he was, so it doesn't really. You get what I mean? Like outside factors. Anyway, in the UK, however, my brother's mail this morning, free from the government. State capacity is a thing. Now I know that the UK is having issues with like with testing, with the amount of tests. They're running out of tests, they're out of tests, etc. But remember that video I made about like being able to fucking do that? And like we had to talk about capitalism and logistics of it and the plans and the routes. But the UK has a less population. We got more money. Like, we're the richest nation on earth. We're the richest nation on earth. No, a bunch of rich white men got their dicks down your throat and you thanking them for it. Like, help me figure out why, like, your throat work like that, bro. Why are you a glizzy gladiator? In another country, it doesn't matter. It's about the logistics of here. You mean to tell me we don't got the smartest people in the world who couldn't figure out like how to get tests to everybody? And if we don't have those people, why don't we have those people? And if we do have those people, why the fuck are they not running shit? That's why I hate the movie Don't Look Up, because people be like, hey, it was a bad movie. The plot was terrible. There wasn't a happy ending. It was written really cheesy and corny. Fuck all that. You know that shit happening in real life though, right? Like, you know you're a part of that. You're a part of that dynamic, whether you want to be or not. I'm smart. I'm informed. I watch your channel. Cool. Cool, thanks. Okay, you're getting there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, that was the worst self-plug I've ever had in my life. Yet we have a labor shortage. I just made you like a million jobs just now. Oh my God. I'm in England. Fuck you. Hey, no problem. Hey, come back whenever you can. I appreciate you letting me know. All good. You know, catch them VODs on YouTube. I'm going to be online for the Hippie Dippy on Sundays. I'll see you back then. Oh, cool. Appreciate that. Yo. Fuck you. Banning you because you got more resources than me. But it's like, it's possible. It's the little Amazon drivers, drop them off at, you can get them at hardware stores. Why don't we have medical professionals and we'll center all the tests around there? They just got rid of a medical center across the street from me that's been there since I fucking moved here. So where am I supposed to go for, where am I supposed to go to get my tests? Where's my clinic? It's not even in the neighborhood. I gotta walk a half a mile to a mile to get to the closest clinic on a day that I can. Everybody lives closer to there than they live from here. So all of them go to it and it constricts. So leave me alone. Leave me alone. So it is possible, is what you're saying. It's a different country. They got this system different. It is. Here comes the joke. If all lives matter and we're all the human race, then why do some lives live in a place where the shit you want is a reality, but you're like, it can't be done? I thought all lives mattered. Fuck, bro. And it's like, if you I'm going so far off the topic of the CDC right now. But like, if you really put that phrase "all lives matter" into fucking play, it literally destroys itself upon thought. Like, upon thought itself, it cannot rationalize itself to be an actual thought. Yeah, I just hate black people. Like there's no other response to that. There's no other. Okay. Just like Biden apparently said that there is no federal solution and it should be solved on the state level. And this is where I'm going to put everything together and hopefully have a good point for you. The CDC's new guidelines you should follow. Now, yeah, no, we're gonna it's part of the dissertation. I swear to God, literally part of the Candace Owens 1350 discussion. It's literally part of that about the idea that just money is just an easy like solution to a lot of shit. Swear to God, like I'm on that flow. what the CDC recommends you to do, you should do. The backlash, I believe, is coming from our moral understanding of how bad COVID is. It doesn't collectively vibe with our thought process on what normally would be a restriction, what normally would be a recommendation. It doesn't mean that leftists, and that's where the two sides of this conversation are coming from. It doesn't mean that leftists all of a sudden don't trust Dr. Fauci, don't trust the CDC. It doesn't validate your concerns or claims that they were always just fumbling about. They just wanted to shut down the economy, this and that, blah, blah, blah. What it does affirm is that we were never on the side of the CDC. We were always on the side of what literally made the most amount of sense to do to keep others safe. This was never an argument then, at least for this side, on the science, because the science would only give us clues as to help keeping people safe. If we thought it was bullshit, like my friend got COVID and it literally didn't do anything to her, like I don't care about it. If it was that situation, you would have seen the same reaction from the left that you would have seen from the right. But I feel like in more densely populated areas that tend to be Democratic, we was watching like I told you, 151 people I know have died. Like that number is astronomical compared to where it was last year, which was like 3. Something changed. So like the science isn't my go all be all for my mental and moral decisions. It helps me know where we are and what decisions I should be taking. That same personal liberty, right? It just so happens though that my personal liberty lines up with what I believe to be the best decision. What I believe. I'm not hindering your belief. My problem is that your belief does nothing. It only keeps you in your own belief. My belief is helping somebody survive. If we could both find a way to do it, then this wouldn't be a conversation. Ironically, that is the world we live in with the flu vaccine, but I really don't want to make that comparison because that's too easy. But by making that comparison, can you see that we already came to this conclusion about vaccinated and unvaccinated people? We already have an optional one and mandatory ones. We already came to that conclusion as well. So I can understand the right being upset over, oh, her vaccine this and this, that, and other, and you're ignoring the side effects and this and that. But the science to answer your questions is there. People who believed in what you believe, who weren't right nor left, sitting there on videos, please take this fucking vaccine. I'm not going to see my daughter. And then they die. And then they try to interview them. And you're sitting there. Do you see them like looking at the camera like, why did we accept this interview? Because that story needs to be told. Because people are so panic the CDC. That's the conversation that's happening here. And I want to show you, obviously the answer is just take the fucking shot, bro. Every thread I end up on, I'm just like, yo, take the fucking shot. Like, what are we talking about here? Just take the fucking shot. Like, anyway, then my man, Jimmy Wong said this question. The current shift in attitude and discourse towards the CDC should give us all pause. Thinking purely about your own perceptions, how much of your opinion and view of the organization was your own, researched and vetted, and how much was determined by someone or something else? Might be sad that I'm just waiting for someone to come along and tell me to delete this tweet because this ain't it, or I'm somehow endangering someone. It's tiring. Late stage social media is a wasteland. Now, this leads us to the point that we just figured out. They've come out and said that their adjusted guidance is based on the economy's health, and that pretty much sums up why people are annoyed now. It's perfectly fair for people to be very skeptical of them, given them that they've changed it based on money. Not saying that their current status is unwarranted, rather giving some food for thought. How our opinions are shaped and fortified about organizations like this, especially during the height of the pandemic. To which I said, this is how you have discourse about ideology change. That makes fucking sense. Is my opinion of the CDC changing? Does that unravel everything that I've talked about in previous videos? Am I now against the vaccines because the CDC was on that shit? See? Difference in circumstances allows me to react that individual freedom you want. It's not hypocrisy because I'm not railing the CDC for every decision they've ever made since their inception because they said something I didn't like, even though I know that I don't like it because of its source. It makes me distrust them when it comes to them not being forward about their next decision. If they go out and post, let's say in 3 months, it's like, oh, we got another variant, blah, 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 and this one is super lethal. Like, we're seeing bodies drop in the street type shit. Not jinxing it. Oh shit. Snyder, you're on the screen. I didn't even peep that. You're on the screen. That's the point of this. Is that just through the little research that we did, I became angry at the CDC. Does that mean everything I've said before is null and void? No. That still saved lives. I could be mad with a motherfucker that I think is making a bad decision, but like just don't make any more bad decisions. And if you continue to make bad decisions, I'm not going to trust your next one. But you haven't failed me before because me and my dad got COVID and that vaccine kicked in. Would have been bad for both of us. He's still coughing. He got long COVID probably. And he doesn't click follow. I'm going to do it off. I'm going to do it. I knew somebody was going to say that shit. I said it in the back of my fucking head. I said that shit in the back of my head. I said, like, I got to hit the follow. I was like, now I have to follow. I hate y'all. A bad decision does not mean we say, fuck everything else good they did before. Exactly. And that's why I always go by this motto. I don't put my fucking foot in my mouth. I don't put my fucking foot in my mouth. Like,